All right, folks, get your mullets ready because it's time to unload JC. It's been a long time coming. Finally got a fuel pump for it. So what we're going to do is move him into the cleared out space in the shop and get to work on getting it running. So now Tim's just gonna fill it up with air, or fill the tires up with air, not the car up with air. That'd be kind of silly.
Up with air.
And yeah, get it on inside.
Here comes the loud thing.
And there you go, back in the shop for what I would say this is probably the first time in years that it's sat inside.
Yeah, no kidding.
All right, so in a snap, you're gonna see Tim back here working on that fuel pump.
Hello, fellow tubers, and of course by that I mean the root vegetables, not the other people watching YouTube. Oh, we are back on. We can't say party in the front because there's just... No, wait, no, it's business up front, party in the rear, so it's the mullet of vehicles. I don't know what the party in the rear would be here. Maybe it's the cool hatchbacky thing, or the trim that doesn't stay on. But the business end up front also, not very business-like. It's a nice car. It's cool. It's a Trans Am. It's got a GTA headrest in there. I don't know where the other one is. Maybe under this cool car cover? As you can see, the aft body edit has been done. So we cut a hole in the floor. We've already dealt with this. Need some high quality gas hose on there. This is my solution to keeping crud out of the tank. And so also the wires have all been cut. These were just taped together, I believe, when I got to it. So now what I'm gonna do is strip these back, put on some new connectors, and then we're gonna figure out how much work I want to do. Do I want to reroute those lines? Do I have the right fuel pump? And if so, I've heard it's a real pain in the butt to get these things in without dropping the tank. And apparently to drop the tank, you gotta take part of the suspension off. So chances are I'm just gonna get new little rubber hoses, and we'll go from there. We'll make some connectors. So I've got these flashy little connectors here to put on. And I've got shrink tube, heat shrink, whatever, it's something. Everyone's gonna say, hey, that's too big. And you're right, but it's what I've got. So today it's going to be the right size. An important marriage tip in there somewhere too, but we'll get to that on another date. I'll show you something really cool in a second. I didn't even know I had. Turns out I do, which makes it cool. Good Lord, I have too much caffeine going through me today. I can't. There. Which reminds me, I should probably go get another coffee. Check this out. Might have seen this when Mark was working on something, but Milwaukee heat gun. There we go. You go up like that. You go up like that. And you do the same. Well, let's see how this thing works. Oh, it's heating. It's heating. It's shrinking. It's doing the thing.
Let's talk about JC for a second and why it has ended up in the driveway here.
Needs a fuel pump. You can buy the fuel pump, but the fuel pumps are insanely expensive. So, of course, we've racked our brains on every other option in mind, going, well, do we just use an electric pump that's cheaper, and then you've got to replumb the whole thing? So there's a whole bunch of other issues involved there, where I think the thing to do is we'll, over the winter, just kind of save up a little bit of cash and buy the fuel pump.
That's the only problem with it, though,
that we know of, right? Until that was the other thing. It's like, well, what if we get the fuel pump, go to fire it up, and the engine's shot? Or something, right? So instead of taking up a bay in our one bay shop for the winter on really not being able to do much with it, we decided to bring the Merc down and work on it. So now she'll sit for the winter. Nothing new for this car.
So we traded one Firebird for another.
Yay!
We're gonna fiddle around with it. Couple little problems. Seized back wheels.
Very seized back wheels.
No door handle, stuff like that. But you've probably watched the rescue video, which would have been put up before this one, and now you can watch as Tim tries to get this guy to come back to life.
Is that time of year where I come down and start doing shop days again? And today we are back on this Firebird. Look at all that valuable barn dust. I've made myself some side post to regular extensions because these are really short and I couldn't get them to do anything. So, you know, we cobbled something together that seems to work quite well. Ish. Okay. We'll just forget we saw that. I did put a battery on it a second ago and it's done it twice now. It actually turned over a little bit. But the belt was smoking, so it turned over great. But I want to see what's not turning. Last time it was alternated, so maybe it's still just slow. No, that's going and that's going. Power steering boat, maybe? Well, so this turn. It is. It's the AC condenser. I hazard a guess that this means that the AC does not work. We're just gonna save ourselves some trouble and do this. Because I'd be tempted to drive with this on, and this belt is no good. Oh. There we go. And just saw the tensioner housing just shatters. So, ready, set. Oh, come on. I said ready, set, but I'm gonna go. There we are. One removed belt. It's just old, rotten white steel. White metal. Not like the Norwegian black metal. It's a totally different thing. Pretty good. Hey, that one over there. There's pivotal points in people's lives, things that are benchmarks, goals, and some are attempted, others are just kind of thrust upon you. So the world of doing YouTube videos and whatnot, it appears as though I have reluctantly reached one of those rites of passage, or a goal, stepping stone maybe. Here it is. I'm gonna do a first wash video. That's right. 16 years of dirt and penis drawings and cat prints. We're gonna see how she cleans up. This is it. Obviously, I'm going to time lapse it or slow motion it so you can agonizingly watch every split second. But first, I gotta push this thing out of the garage. So as you may have noticed, the camera fell off the car at one point there. The Honda. That's my tripod Honda. But, so, here we go. We're now just a couple stages of wash. So this isn't anything like you can see. Definitely still lots to go. We're gonna get it properly cut and buffed and all of that kind of stuff. But for now, we're gonna get some of that dirt off and see what laid underneath. And honestly, like, the places where I put even the smallest amount of wax on and whatnot, like, the paint is really nice. It was a really nice color. So now, I don't know if I'll put it on time lapse again because this is gonna be comedy. I have to try to push this car back in, and I kind of pushed it out too far. So I am going to use this as a stopper. I figured that was appropriate, so I can push it back a bit and then not have it roll all the way back down. It doesn't look like much, but it is on a hill.
I guess you could say not every episode in Project turns out perfectly. And this has been kind of an interesting episode in general because we've kind of been a little bit all over the place. We started with JC, had issues there, then moved him, brought the green car down to do some work on that. Now we've run into issues with the green car, and I think it's time for it to leave the garage too for the time being. I'll let Tim kind of explain the challenges that he faced and why we made the decision that we did.
Good morning, if that's what you call it. Yeah, Firebirds, they seem to really not want to run. The problem with this one was I think it was stored where it was stored was great for the top half of the car, but not good for the bottom half of the car. And all the lines, all the hoses, everything literally just crumbled in my hands when I took it apart. So
it was a very gravelly floor, right?
And humid. So basically what it boils down to, it's a little more money than we can throw at it right now. Not that it's going anywhere. We just have to kind of figure out what direction we want to go with it.
But you also said too, the humidity was bad enough that it ruined the starter. Starter broke in half.
Here's parts. So this, the solenoid, all that kind of stuff. This I took apart, but see the solenoid, just the white metal is just all rotten right out of it.
And then the other issue was the fact that the back wheels wouldn't turn.
Yeah.
And this is kind of the result of things here. So basically what you did was you just pulled the back wheel off, ripped off the brakes because they were all seized, and then just put the wheel back on so we can roll it.
Yeah, it's just bolted to the axle plates right now, which isn't a big deal. But there's no brakes anyway.
The other thing too was the AC condenser was finished.
The AC condenser, it also, it seized it slowly coming around, but I did find the belt to bypass it if we need to, which is nice. So this guy here, I don't know if it's light enough, but see, it's going even again. Like it was turning maybe a quarter inch either way the other day, and now it's not doing anything again. That's where we're at.
Well, Maria made a good point too, right? Something that she said back when we were working on the Sea-Doos last summer, and the fact that they never worked. And you got to show sometimes that you do fail, right?
Well, not everything is it's YouTube magic. There is a bit of that going on in this world, where not that people are deceiving anyone, but it takes a lot longer to do things than maybe it's showing.
The big thing is deciding what we want to do with it long term. That's not going to cost a fortune, but it is going to be fun, right? Tim said it made a good point about it just becoming a mechanic's job, where it's just replacing parts and then that's it to get it going again. We want to figure out something cool to do with it. One of the things we had talked about was turbocharging the 6-cylinder, but I think you said that at this point in time, it's probably just not in the best of shape to even bother trying that. Or
No, we don't know what. I mean, I'm sure the inside of the engine is good, but if you go under it, the oil pan's pretty beat up. There's a lot of leaking going on. Looks like the transmission's leaking. So, I mean, do we just pull it? And I would love to put like an old school big block with a tunnel ram in it. So, you know, something like that maybe. So if anybody has something like that, that's not that one, around somewhere.
And the plan is, I guess, basically, is you've got another idea for a project that's going to be pretty cool. It's going to show up in an upcoming episode, and he's going to get started on it today after we load this girl up. So, again, not going anywhere, just going up to winter at our parents' house, much to their chagrin. They hate it when we drop that stuff off, but we're running out of room
Why
here.
do you have kids?
Right, yeah. Your kids, you have to have kids so they can bring crap home.
I'm sure my kids are going to drive me nuts with the same kind of thing when I'm older.
You would hope so.
Well, I would hope it. If it's car stuff, that's even cool.
So thanks for watching, folks. Hope you enjoyed this episode. It's definitely been a different one in terms of subject matter. We're a little bit all over the place, but figured it was worth showing how things work out sometimes.
Or don't work out.
Well, exactly. That they
Like
don't
me,
work out.
I don't work out.